Hello friends, in this video I'll be discussing about conditional and looping statements. So what is conditional statement? The statement which gets executed when the condition is true. So that statement are known as conditional statement. So it depends upon the condition. So already we have completed operators like relational operators, logical operators. So the return type of that operators were Boolean value. So in if else statement, inside we need to give a condition like if a greater than b colon. So this is a way to write if else statement in Python. We need to maintain indentation while writing. Okay, so there are no braces in Python, there is an indentation. So if a greater than b colon, then print a is greater than b, else colon print b is greater than a. So after pressing shift enter, the output is a greater than b. So by this way we write if else statement in Python. Now next is if else if and else statement. So this is a syntax. It includes nested if as well as if else if and else syntax. So nested if means when you create a if statement and inside that if you are passing another if, or you are creating another if. So that type of statement are known as nested if conditional statement. So a equals to 30, b equals to 50 and c equals to 70. Okay, so if a greater than b colon, then in order to maintain the indentation, I've used tab space, and next if a greater than c, print a is greater else print c is greater. So this is an example of nested if. You can create many programs using this concept. So this is a pretty basic program I have taken, and after that if in other languages we write else if, but in Python it's elif. So elif b greater than c, print b is greater else print c is greater. So by this way we create if, else if and nested if in Python. Okay, so the next topic is loopings. So why we need loop? So we need loop in order to repeat a statement, like the area where the repetition of statements are allowed. So in that case loop is required. So there are two types of loop in Python. One is for loop and next is while loop. While in other languages there are for, while and do while. So in Python, for I in range, then colon print I. So basically we need to use range function, and that range, what it will do, it will create an object having 0 till 9, having the value 0 till 9. So from that range we are picking each object. So that's why I've used I, so that I in for I in range will pick each object that is being created by a range having value from 0 to 9, and then it will print. So this is a syntax of using for loops in Python. We can pass list, tuple. Okay, so next I have created a list, that is lst equals to 1 2 3 4 5. For I in list, print I. So in order to print that list, I have passed the list in place of range, and that I, what it is doing, like picking each object inside a list. So everything inside Python is an object. So picking each object, picking one, then it's printing on a screen, then after that it is picking two. So like the for loop is iterating each object inside a list. Okay, next is I have passed the length of a list, and by using indexing method I am printing the content of the list. And in order to print it horizontally, we need to use end equals to space, okay, inside print function. So by this way we can print the contents of a list in horizontal way. Now next loop is while loop. So we can use any loop in our program. It totally depends on the program, that if we know the value, like up to where we have to iterate, we can use for loops, it's better. Otherwise we can use while loop, it depends on the program. Okay, so while I less equals to 5, print I, then I plus equals to 1. So basically loops have initialization, condition, and then updation. So initialization means first you need to initialize a value. So I have initialized I equals to 0, then there will be a condition, and after that will print the value, and then will update the condition, like will either increment or decrement. So I plus equals to 1. In Python we can't write I plus plus, while in other languages we can write I plus plus, which is nothing but an postfix increment operator. Okay, but in Python we can't write this. So by this way we can use while loop inside Python. Now next, in order to print tuple, so I have created a tuple having 3 objects, 1, 3, 4, 7 and 8, 9. So for I, j in tuple, print I, j. So in order to print tuple like this, 1, 3, 4, 7, 8, 9, we need to write like this. Okay, for I, j in tuple, print I, j. So the first I will pick this value, and the second j will pick this value, and it will print. Okay, so it will iterate to all the contents inside the tuple. Now in order to print a pattern, we can use for loop or while loop. So this is a code to print a pattern in Python. There are many easy way to print a pattern, like we can use comprehensions or some shortcut tricks, but these are the basic procedure by which you can print a pattern, like create a for loop, then inside for loop create another for loop. So this is known as nested for loop. The way we define nested if, like creating an if, and inside that if we are creating another if. Similarly in for loops also, in while loop also, we can create nested loops, nested while loop, nested for loop. So we need to be very careful in our condition. If the condition is infinite, like if it does not terminate, then it will create an error, and we can add a new line by using \n. So these are escape sequence. There are multiple escape sequence like \t, \r. So we can use it in our pattern. So by this way we can create patterns in Python.